About a week and a half ago, I put out a video about Logan Tipton. Logan Tipton was a 6-year-old white kid that was killed by a black man named Ronald Exantis. Ronald snuck into Logan's family's home in the middle of the night and attacked his family in their sleep. He attacked the father, he attacked Logan's sister, and he killed Logan. Now, the reason I put out this video is because Ronald was found unfit to stand trial for killing Logan, but he did go to jail for unrelated charges. And now, after just 7 short years, they were set to release Ronald back into the public. He killed a white kid and attacked the kid's family in their sleep. And that's not all. He went on to attack other people, assault other people as well. That's what he went to jail for. He did not go to jail for killing the white kid. He went to jail for assaulting someone else. And now, as of a week and a half ago, they were getting ready to release him onto the streets. And spoiler alert, they did. We'll get to that in just a moment. But I put out this video to raise awareness about this situation. And it turned out that the video that I put out about this was my lowest performing video in months. Now, I'm not complaining about views because views will be up or down. But I do think that this goes to show that we have grown. I don't know what the proper word is to use here, but we're starting to look at news about white kids getting killed by grown black men, white women getting killed by illegal immigrants. We're starting to see this news and we don't think anything of it anymore. There's no reason as to why I put out a video about Logan Tipton, a white kid who was stabbed and killed by this black man who broke into his family's home, who has now been released from jail. I put out a video about that, and it gets dramatically less views than a video that I put out pointing out how crazy Britney Spears is. It shows where people's priorities lie. And I think we've grown too used to it every day. Oh, white woman attacked here. White kid attacked here. We've grown so used to it that we don't even view it as news anymore. A white kid gets basically killed in his sleep, and his killer gets released from jail after only doing a couple of years, and no one thinks anything of it because it's become the norm. And that's scary. Look, folks, all I can do is I can do the research, I can gather the information, I can sit my fat ass down here and I can record these videos and I can put these videos out, but it's not up to me how far the information gets spread. I can compile the information, I can do the research, I can alert people, I can use my platform to put the info out, but that's all I can do. It's up to you all, it's up to the viewers how far the story spreads and how much awareness is raised by said video. So I put out the video, other people spoke out about it, hoping that Ronald wouldn't be released, but he was. Ronald was released from jail. And guess where Ronald went? Immediately after being released, Ronald went down to Florida, and Ronald was living like directly across the street from an elementary school. Here we have this guy who they claimed was too crazy to stand trial for killing this white kid. Yet he was not too crazy to be released from jail and to be living across the street from an elementary school. This is an evil killer that broke into someone's home and purposely directed his evil and his hatred towards the 6-year-old, not the father, not the other people in the house. He wanted Logan. He wanted the little white kid, the little 6-year-old. And now he was living across the street from countless white 6-year-olds that he could attack. It's so crazy to think about. But that's where we're at. Luckily, though, he was actually arrested again. And I guess they say it's because he failed to register as a felon. It's not a super serious charge. This guy should not have been out of jail in the first place. Should have never seen the free world again. They probably should have ended him already, if you know what I mean. But no. They released this guy from jail, and he was living across the street from an elementary school. Why? Because unfortunately, us white people, we don't make us think about this. We don't make an uproar about stuff like this enough. We see these stories and we scroll right past. Oh, another white woman killed by an illegal immigrant. Oh, another white kid stabbed to death by a black man or a black woman in a grocery store. And we just scroll right on past because we're so used to these news stories. And because people are too afraid to speak out. Other white kids are put in danger when these monsters are released from prison so they can go live across the street from an elementary school. So like I said, all I can do is I can put out these videos. I can try to use my platforms to raise awareness. But what does it matter when, I guess, white people have been beaten so hard into submission that they see stories like the Logan Tipton story and they don't even care. They scroll right past. Let's go look at entertainment news. Who cares about this white kid getting stabbed by this black man who was released from jail and lives right across the street from an elementary school? So frustrating. But I do have the clip of Ronald being arrested in Florida. Let's go ahead and check out that clip. Before I roll the clip, though, if you're here, if you enjoy the videos, if you like that I spread awareness about situations and stories like this, hit that like button, share the video. Like I said, it's up to you how far this news gets spread. So share the video on social media, comment, subscribe. If you're feeling generous, you can always donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. But with that being said, let's roll this clip and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Bring them all the way back.
I don't know if I did.
Keep coming back.
Put your hands behind your back, Ronald.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yes, sir. You have anything on you? No, sir.
Pretty tight. All right, man. You do have a warrant for your arrest out of Florida, okay? We'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah, I'll call it out. I just don't want that to become clear. It's good. Double up.
Who was released early from prison despite murdering 6-year-old Logan Tipton. He's just been arrested in Florida, according to the state's attorney general. Quote, this afternoon, the Marion County Sheriff's Office and 5th Judicial Circuit state's attorney obtained a warrant for the arrest of Ronald Exantis for failure to register as a convicted felon. State officials are now working to send him back to Kentucky. That's a nice little piece of good news.
The Tipton family has been victimized twice. The first time they were victimized was by Ronald Exantis, and he should have died in prison for what he did. But the second time that they were victimized was by the government of Kentucky. Our laws failed them.
State Representative T.J. Roberts intends to file legislation next year to eliminate mandatory reentry supervision. The program releases nonviolent offenders 6 months before their release date to reacclimate to the world. Exantis' second-degree assault charges did not classify him as a violent offender, making him eligible for early release. Roberts proposes giving the power to grant this kind of reentry to the parole board, which stated it denied Exantis' parole every time it was considered, including the day before he was let out.
We had a statutory override over that, and that's been the law since 2011. And it's extraordinarily unfortunate that a 6-year-old has to die and his killer has to walk free in order for us to realize that this was a problem that needs to be fixed.
Angela Cooper with the ACLU of Kentucky cautions a law change for a program that she says has, in most cases, worked as intended.
A single case, a single incident, a single unique set of circumstances should not be the basis for changing a law, creating a law, or enacting a law.
Roberts' second bill request focuses on insanity pleas.
If a criminal charge is all emerging from the same course of conduct, either you're sane for all the charges or you're insane for all of the charges.
He adds, typically, a person found not guilty by reason of insanity is committed to a mental health facility.
So shout out to Florida for actually doing the right thing. I fully believe that they saved some lives by taking Ronald back into custody. How on earth would anyone think that it's a good idea to release this guy? Let alone you let him out of prison and he's living next to an elementary school. When people hurt kids, not only should they not be released from jail, but if they are, they shouldn't be anywhere near an elementary school. And to be clear, it was Kentucky that released Ronald. And then he hightailed it down to Florida. I bet he wished, or he wishes now, that he didn't go to Florida. And as you can see, he's living in someone's home. I guess maybe a family member's home. I guess the family member is okay with Ronald killing white kids because they're allowing him to live there. And that's the man that they said was too insane to stand trial, folks. Right? Too insane to stand trial, not too insane to live next to an elementary school after stabbing a white kid. Awkward. Awkward indeed. But let's find out a little bit about who actually helped release Ronald. Because from what we're hearing, the Kentucky State Parole Board actually recommended that Ronald would not be released. However, the Kentucky Department of Corrections ordered his release anyway. And the Kentucky Department of Corrections is ran by this fat bitch named Cookie Cruz, a very fitting name. So it just so happens that a fat black racist is one of the people that is responsible for releasing Ronald, the white child killer. Wow. Huge coincidence. But just so you get an idea of how bad this situation was, which you should already realize that, I want to read just a snippet from a news article when this actually happened. This is coming from Logan's sister. He stabbed me in the back and then stomped on my head, Logan's sister Dakota Tipton said. And I remember waking up across the room, not where I was at, and I looked, and he was killing Logan. And Logan was screaming. He didn't just kill my son, Heather Tipton, Logan's mother said. He killed every member of my family, every single one of us, and every person that's sitting here today is a completely different person than they were before the attack. So this family, devastated, never going to be the same again. I can't imagine the amount of trauma that inflicts on a person. And now they're being re-traumatized, re-victimized by Ronald being released. And luckily, thanks to the state of Florida, they brought Ronald in. And I don't know what's going to happen from here, but I do know that we need to pay close attention to what's going on so this guy isn't released once again. And we need to pay attention every time an attack like this happens, because unfortunately, when the victim is white and the attacker is a different color, the attackers get slaps on the wrist and they can kill a kid and then be released and sent to live next to an elementary school within a couple of years. So this is something that we got to pay attention to, folks. But I'm going to keep my eyes on this story. I hope you all do as well. For now, I want your eyes down in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about this while you're down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.